anybody out there. It's Sonia going live. I am alive. Johnny 5 is alive. So I just figured I'd check in. I was sitting here getting ready to paint a frame, and I haven't gone live in a long time. So I thought, you know what, on this particular channel, so I thought I'd say hi. I'm doing the magic coffee beans. If you do arrive alive, will you also say hello to me in the comments? So good. Good to the last drop. And I've got many drops. So it's getting close to 3:30 here my time. I am on Lake Erie, and cold Lake Erie. I just got back from out west, so there was a little bit I wasn't on here. Hey, Mom and Dad, how are ya? On from the north. You know, Mom, I was watching the story about the big cargo vessel that lost power in the storm and got grounded up there near Lark Harbor. That was crazy stuff. Anybody see that on the news? Giant, massive boat, cargo ship, where I'm from in Newfoundland, Canada. And you see it, I guess it lost, from what I read, it lost power on a ship, on its ship. There was like 20 people on board, I do believe, right? Mom says coffee is good, blustery here. Yeah, it's, we had snow and ice. It's cold here, but it's okay. I've just been from the blazing sun out west. I got really sick while I was out west. I'm like, is this the bird flu? I'm almost over it now, but I'm like, keep checking for feathers and wings, you know, nothing yet. So it's probably just the common flu, but it's a sticky one. It doesn't want to let go. But yeah, it's crazy to think a ship losing power, you know, in the darkness, in the Atlantic, wherever, in any ocean. And then I guess they lost power. Stormy conditions back home, I see, Mom. Winds up to, 120 kilometers per hour. And they got just blown in towards the island of Newfoundland, which is like a rock that protrudes in the middle of the North Atlantic. It's amazing. But lots of cliffs and things like that. And so that's where I'm from in Canada. It's called Iceberg Alley. And the big glaciers come down from the St. Lawrence Current. And, you know how an iceberg is 9 times bigger on the bottom than it is on the top? It flips and does all that stuff. But when it comes down, it's so big that if it comes, it gets pushed with the waves in close to the cliffs of Newfoundland, into the shores. It can get what's called grounded. And so I remember growing up in the summer, in the community, and you would you know, just how many icebergs that you would see, but there'd be icebergs that would sit there for weeks and weeks. And so it would just get stuck, and then the sun would beat down on it. And some of these icebergs that come down, I mean, they can be, I remember like one being like 3 kilometers in length, and it had waterfalls and seals onto it. It's pretty wild. It has its own ecosystem. And I remember, one that came in and was there for a long time, and the sun beats down on it, and then eventually it melts, and then it'll just, you know, flip over. And when an iceberg flips over, or what's called founders, which is cracks, and it just falls apart, it is like a bunch of gunshots going off. And I remember as a young girl in the community, I'd be out skipping or playing on the roads, and to hear that, right? You know, but you became really used to it because it's just a part of the ecosystem of the climate up there. But today I was reading about this boat that lost power, got grounded, pushed in too close, and they had to air rescue all the people off the boat. And it was a cargo ship, so there's like stacks and stacks, and you're thinking like, what is in that boat? And then how do they get a boat off the shore that's grounded, that's so massive? A giant metal vessel, like think of the big boats that you see, right? The big cargo boats that come across and travel long distances with all the containers and things like that. Big boat. And so the helicopter got them all off, but now that boat is there. And just to think that a helicopter is also out in those conditions, and to be able to rescue people, and now the boat is just there. And you know, like the bottom, the rudder of the boat, the very base of the boat, that part that kind of comes up like this before you see the boat on the top with that little pointy piece that comes down. And to see the boat just like thrashing up against, like it's just literally rocking back and forth like this here, and big splashes of waves coming over, you know. But the helicopter came and picked them all up, and I understand there's a couple injuries that they're being treated for, but luckily everybody's off. So that was amazing to see this morning. Mother Nature, she is powerful. But now you have to wonder, like, what happens to the boat? How do they get the boat out? I'm just trying to think. What do you think, Mom? Would they use tugboats or something like that? Some boats to pull them out further from the shore? Or then you have to wonder, like, does the boat have damage, just being tossed around like that on the rocks? Or does it just become one of those shipwrecks that, you know, you think, how did that boat get over there? That's, you know, like, that's like, why is that boat just rusting out right there? And we don't see it. At least I don't see it that often anymore. But I'm just trying to think, will that giant cargo ship stay off the coast there, right? Crazy. And it's in a place where when I grew up, when I lived back on the island, I took my son out to this place, and it's very beautiful on the coast. And there was all these big, like, lots of wildlife and stuff like that. And it was one of the times he said the cutest thing ever, and I'll never forget it. I was showing him around the coastline, and there was this big giant snail, okay? Like, he was one of the biggest snails, but we know how big a snail is, like, maybe not that big. And my son must have been, like, I don't know, 3 at the time or so. And we walked along the shore, and he's like, what's that? I'm like, that's a snail. I'm like, that's his house on his back. He carries his house on his back. And you could tell the wheels were kind of turning in his head for a second. And he goes, how does he fit his couch in there? And I'm like, very carefully, buddy, very carefully. But it's true. Okay. Snail with a house on his back. How do you fit a couch in there? I mean, these are the questions that kids ask. And those are good questions, right? So Patricia's on, Henry, Tammy, Stacy, Evelyn, doing some coffee. It's about 3:30 here on Lake Erie. See, I did move too far away from the water. I had to have a little water in my life. And anyway, I just feel like I'm crashing. I'm getting over this flu that I have, but I needed to pick me up. And usually around 3:30 in the day is when I'm like, oh my gosh. Today just felt really, really long. It still does feel long. I'm looking at the time. It's not even 30. It's 3:30. It's 3:19. Like, this day is just going on forever. 3:20. Anybody else feel like that today? So I thought I'd get myself a cup of coffee. And I'm doing the Starbucks coffee. Now, I don't know if this is a thing or not, but I'm pretty sure that, I don't know, I call it my buzzy coffee. Buzzy coffee that keeps me busy. When I need a pick-me-up, I have some ground, I have the whole beans, house roast, Starbucks coffee in the kitchen. And when I grind the beans up and I drink this coffee, I don't know what Starbucks does, but I'm telling you, there's something. This is why we're all addicted. There's something in the coffee. I'm not mad about it. It's okay. But it's something, and it makes me really like, woo! So right now, I'm getting woo right now. I'm getting buzzy to get busy. And if you know, you know. So I just came back from the desert. It's been a lot. The last few weeks, there's been good times. There's been bad times. It just feels like there's been a whole roller coaster the last few weeks. But it was really nice to get out west and just to feel the sunshine. When we were out there, the temperatures during the day were 90, like up to 90. I had ice cream, okay? That's how warm it was. I had ice cream, and I was carrying around with me iced water bottles and like literally like just putting them up to my forehead because I'm like, this is so hot. It was so wonderful though, but it was really nice to break up, you know, when you do live in a colder region, to be able to come back and be like, okay, that was a nice little break there. But we always go out for the annual gem show over in Tucson, Arizona. Has anybody been out there before? It's the biggest one in the world. And here in our shop in Erie, one of the things that we do sell is a myriad of crystals and fossils. We even have dinosaur parts. So it's a really fun experience. The kids love it here too. So we go out and we find the most amazing specimens, because that's where you get to meet the miners from all over the world. And they go out there and you can ask questions, you can learn. Actually, one of the things I learned about, I always treat myself when I go to these gem shows, and I do love my rings and things. It's, especially if you love crystals, it's a fun way to carry them with you. But there's a crystal that I learned about this year. It's a piece of amethyst, and it's the way the amethyst grows is that it has like what looks like an eye in the center of it. So it's called alien amethyst. And anyway, I brought a whole bunch back to the shop. for my customers, and I found this one ring. We did a live ring show. Who remembers that? Actually did it here on this page. And so I found this ring in the bunch, and I'm like, yes. Actually, Matt found it and was like, isn't that alien amethyst? And I'm like, yep, that's mine. So that was my treat. But it's always fun to go out and, you know, you want to change your life. You want to change your attitude. You want to change how you feel. Just change literally change your perspective. Literally change your perspective, meaning that, like, go see some new scenery. So we went to Sedona. We did another vortex hike. You know, just one of the beautiful, beautiful hikes that you can do out there. We did the airport mesa one. Has anybody done that one before? It was a little scary though at some points, because I'm like, holy smokes, we're going to go up on the rock, not just like do a trail on the base, but you go up, and they literally have, I'm like, am I going to be the only one here? Like, I want to tether myself on, because it's like, this is getting serious. This is getting, like, you got to have good boots on here. So we went to the top, and, yeah, you're high up there, and then you're like, how do I get down? I guess the same way I came up. But when I was up there, there were some influencers up there, and they were like, I'm up there like terrified. I think as I get older, I'm getting a fear of heights, and I'm up there, and I'm like, oh wow, this is so nice. Let me just sit here. I'm just gonna sit here for a second. You know, my legs felt shaky and jelly. And I sat down for a second, and, you know, I'm looking around, and there's like groups of people there, and they're taking pictures. And there was this one group over here on the edge, and I mean on the edge. Like, I'm in the center rock. I can see the full 360 panoramic view from here. I am not like going out near the edge or anything like that. And there was some influencers that were there, and they were doing shots like of actually jumping up and trying to kick their feet up, and then like take the picture while they're up in the air before they came back down. And they're doing it on the edge, and I'm just like, I can't be here. I can't be here. I can't be responsible for that. Oh my gosh. Like, seriously, I can't even watch that. I am like, I'm scared for you. Okay. I am absolutely scared for you. Hey, Tina, Dottie, Cindy, Sonia with a Y, Debbie, good to see you, Barbara. But anyway, that wasn't, every time I go out, I try to do something a little bit, like do another trail, see something different. So that was a lot of fun as well. We found this amazing place to stay. We use booking.com when we're out and about, right? And so, because you don't know where you're going, and you just kind of look at the reviews. Oh my gosh, the funniest. Read the reviews on booking.com. Holy smokes, we laughed at some of the places, right? Like, there was snot on the walls. I'm like, okay, let's scroll a little bit more. Let's find a different one. But anyway, we took a chance. We found this beautiful place in Sedona. Like, everything was booked. And we are the type of people that when we go out west, it's pretty much, you know, we'll figure it out. There's plenty of places to stay. We'll find somewhere to stay. And we found this place that like came up on Booking. I guess I don't know if somebody canceled last minute, just magically appeared, and we're like, should we take it? And it was in the heart of Sedona, and they had a little getaway. They had this archway of all like greenery, and you go in, and then they had the back, like it was an oasis in the middle of Sedona. It was so beautiful. They had waterfalls and big hammock swing chairs. Anyhow, if you ever go out that way, message me, and if you need a spot to stay, because I got a good place for you. It was all good, and there was no snot on the walls, so it was great. So anyway, yeah, that was fun time. And yeah, one of the hikes that we did it kind of late in the evening, and we thought we'd have more time. It was almost a 4-mile hike around this big protruding red rock in Arizona, and it was like 4 miles, and it was going to get dark in, I think, like maybe 2 hours. And we're like, oh, we can do this. We can hoof this. We're, you know, no stranger to doing that. Well, little did we know that when you started around this hike, around this mountain, you would come to places where literally the red rock, it was just like the path was the rock. There was no path, and there was no maintained path. But it was like red rock, and then there was like rock slides over it. And so you're in so far that you can't turn around now, because you're like, oh my gosh, like I got to get to the end before it gets dark. And then I found out that they have something like that's called, is it javelinas? It's the wild pigs. Did you know that there was wild pigs in Sedona? I did not know there was wild pigs in Sedona, but I'm glad I found out that like literally right before I went on this hike, because when we got out there and we couldn't move as fast as we thought we could, because we were literally like crab crawling across some spots that were like really iffy, and You just really had to take your time to get across there. By the time we got around the other side, like, and it was getting dark, you know, we had our lights on our phone and stuff, and we knew we were about to come to the end, but still, we were booking it. I became a mouth breather. I was like, the most relaxing walk ever. And by the time we got to the end, you could, like, literally, not only was there, like, animal poo on like, oh my gosh, reminder, there's wild animals out here, right? If there's any ghosts out here, we're going to meet them on the mountain tonight. And then by the end of it, we get to the end of it, and we're trying to get out of there. And then we started hearing weird noises in the bushes, and it was snorting pigs. It was like, and we're like, thank God I know about the wild pigs, because otherwise that would be terrifying. So anyhow, yeah, we had a lot of fun out west. And so, you know, minus the scary wild pigs and scary climb, it was great. So then I came back, and I've been doing some painting. And so I posted a video a little bit earlier of some of my paintings. And so they're all desert vibes. I added the words on them now, and it says, so you know I love mixed media art. So on this one I did happy mind, happy life. So you can probably tell there's no wild pigs in these though. Maybe I need to paint some wild pigs, huh, Katie? Never too late to begin again. I love that. Never too late to begin again. These feel like postcards. I'm going to turn them into prints. I've been putting my originals on my JunkMonkeySonia, my Etsy shop. It says, be the light, a little cactus and a little landscape. And then these here, these are all ones I did this week since I've been back. So I painted some cacti, multiple of cacti. And I stamped on this one. It says, stay loyal to your own peace. You know, pursue what you love, protect your peace, do what brings you joy, and never mind the rest, right? Just kind of lean into what you love. So that one was really cool. I actually have a frame here, and I think I'm going to paint this frame. So I've been painting this week a lot on canvas board, and I'll show you why it's really nice. It's the stuff that's like this. Now I do wrap canvas where you have the wooden frame, the backing that looks like this, right? But when you do the canvas board, the nice thing is, if you thrift a frame like I did, if you want, you can keep the glass into it. But, so like these here, this is how I create paint palettes for myself. I'll keep this on the side now, and then I'll just squirt out my Junk Monkey little paints, and that'll be my palette to mix things up with. You know, because I'm not going to throw away that piece of glass. And you can clean it up and peel it off and have fun peeling paint. So you ready? See, but this frame needs some color. So when you do the canvas boards, and you take your glass out, then you have just a really cool, vibrant painting. And then I just go ahead and I would press the little, you know, metal bits in on the back. And then we've got a pretty little frame. A party little frame. But I feel like this one needs some color. So I think I'm going to use one of the colors that I used within it. So then I did this one yesterday in honor of Valentine's Day. Let me know if anybody wants to do some painting together. Say, yes, I'm game. So this is the one I did yesterday. All the little shabby florals, you know, me and my shabby art. A little envelope. A reminder to give love freely and to be open to receiving love. You know, we're hard on ourselves. But you know what? You deserve to be loved, and there's much love to be given. So lean in, and just when somebody loves you, just say thank you. Thank you. So there's my, again, like this frame needs to be a different color. Can't live with that. I can't live with that. I need some color. Tell me if you are the same. And then the one that I did, oh yeah, I'll show you one more that I did, and then I'll show you my latest one that I just finished. So this one is this one. It's kind of just the landscape, fun colors. And I left this space in the mountains so I could stamp in grow, evolve, transform. You know, what do you think of that one? You like it? It's on my desert vibes. Inspired. And this is the one that I just did. Finished sealing it. It's just dry now. Let me show it to you out of the frame first. So again, it's just the canvas board. And then actually it would go like this. And then if you see here, it might be backwards to you, but you're just going to have to trust me. It says rise above, just like that. And so we put it into a frame. But yeah, it needs a colored frame. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I also found this little frame, and I'm like, if this works really nice, I think these might be like a Walmart shadow box. Tell me if you've seen this somewhere. Because again, these are just also the little canvas backing. Oh, it does work. It does work. All right, so we'll go like this, and then there we go, right? Never too late to begin again. I love that because it's got a shadow box. I'm gonna actually have to go to see if I can find a bunch of these. So I've been working this past week. If you follow me on YouTube, I have a YouTube channel as well. It's called Sonia Miller. And Sonia with an I, M-I-L-L-E-R, or just search JunkMonkeySonia. You'll find me that way too. But I was showing you this week that in the shop, I kind of just carved out a little place to create for myself what feels like a little vendor booth within my big store. So I've been selling my art for a long time, and I haven't really given it a set spot. It's just like little pop-ups that here, they sell out, and then I just move it somewhere else, wherever there's space. And I decided I wanted to really do an area where I would work to paint and fill it all up with all the pretty things and just feel like a really happy art corner with all the things that I do. So if you follow along, I'm going to show you that I'm going to be painting all the things for it. So if you want to paint with me, let me know. Hi, Sylvana. She says, hi, lovely lady. Glad to see you had fun. Snowing here? Yeah, it is. You ready for spring? I hear you. I hear you. So anyway, this works really nice. See, I've been painting just to keep myself busy. I'm telling you, painting is therapy. It is therapy. I know that if you're on this page, you'll agree with me. All right, now this fits so good that I can't get the back of it out. I'm gonna have to find something to just scoot it out with. So what's everybody out there up to today? I'll get it later. But this is the idea, right? So I can put that inside there as well. Pretty cool. All right, it fits so good. It fits like a glove. It doesn't want to come out. So I'm going to paint this guy. I'll just pick a color that I want to go ahead and put on it. So all I do is I paint. As I squeeze my tubes, my Junk Monkey paint tubes. I'm pretty sure you guys know by now because I've said it a million times, but we do have a Junk Monkey, even though we put a pause in the furniture paint. I came out with a project that I've always wanted to do because canvas paint has always been something I love as well, like painting artsy sort of stuff. And so I came out with a line of my own Junk Monkey acrylic paint sets. And so, well, actually, here's a box. Here, I'll show you. Right here. So this is our paints. You can find them on my Etsy. But I've been really having fun doing a lot of art. I'll never run out of paint. Never run out of paint. So, and they have all the little tubes inside of everything you need. So one of the colors that I used inside, in the deepest blue that you see here, is a color, and it's called ultramarine. I was gonna say aquamarine. Ultramarine. So I think I'm just gonna maybe go with a darker frame. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna run this along here. Squeeze it out onto a palette. Ain't nobody got time for that. We're just gonna go straight into it. So you guys will have to tell me how you guys are. What are you up to? Are you surviving winter one day at a time like me? Are you a winter person? Maybe you love winter. I mean, I love winter for a little bit. I grew up in a lot of winter, and I feel like the best time I am with winter is when I'm out doing something in the actual snow. What's the joy of, we'll do this together. When I'm actually out doing something like winter sports. So for me, I love the snowshoe. I love the cross-country ski. Those were the things that I really did. Snowmobile. I used to love to ice fish. Then I became allergic to fish after I moved to Pennsylvania. It's like a joke. Yeah. Speaking of fish, have you guys seen the videos that have been out? Like, I've seen 2 videos in the last 48 hours, I swear, of people who've gotten, like, either chased by giant sea creatures, or else got swallowed by a whale. Did you see that one? That's nuts. Let's paint one a really, really long ways. I didn't even need this much. This color is pretty, right? How pretty is that? Ooh, that's gonna look so good. So much better than the brownie frowny. You got it. Take that frown, turn it upside down. Oh, that's so pretty. I'm gonna get inside as well. But yeah, what keeps you sane in the winter? Maybe that's what I should have tagged this video. What keeps you sane in the winter? Tell us your best techniques. Hey, Claudine. Hey, Janet. So I'm just going to paint this. I'm going to leave this here. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to distress it. Because I love a distressed effect. When I first started my business, it was called Sonia's Shabby Chic. And then we went on to make our own paint. The paint that my husband made for me so I could paint shabby chic style that you guys ended up loving. And the rest is history. But I have always been a lover of distressed. And maybe it comes back to like being raised on that island that I just told you about, where it's pretty windswept and the conditions are pretty brutal, right? We always say that if you're from Newfoundland, you know, Newfoundlanders are hardy people, and it's an island in the middle of the North Atlantic, and so the boats are all windswept, the trees, you know, if you live near the harbor and the wind. So it feels very cozy, very warm, very beat into me. And so maybe that's why I love it, because I grew up seeing it. So I do love it. All right, so that frame is done. I'm not going to touch it too much because it's going to end up on me. I think I got it all around. Tell me, that's going to look so good, right? On my paintings. Love that. Love it a lot. Nice. All right, friends. Well, thanks for joining me for coffee time and chat, and all my stories. And I'll probably see you again tomorrow. I might start doing lives in the mornings. Feeling motivated to get up in the morning and do a little painting. Let me know if you might be game for it. If, say, I did it like, I open the shop at 11 a.m. in the morning, so it had to be probably at 10 a.m. because it gets a little hectic after then. But I might start doing some like 10:30 a.m. chats if anybody wants to hang out, see what you're doing, you know. But yeah, can you see it now? Can you see this inside of some really vivid stuff? I think it's gonna look so good. I'm not gonna paint this like this frame though. I like the way that black shows up against, that's the background. Options. So I'm gonna go find all my thrifted frames, maybe put some more colors onto them. I love this color as well. It's called Yellow Ochre, and it is a very mustard moon color. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, when I designed these, this paint set, I almost went, and that was actually the name of this one. I almost went and I was gonna name all the main colors that you need, like basically the heads of the family, the moms and the dads, you know what I mean? And then, because you can make any color from there, right? You can make any color family once you have the main colors. And so that's what I decided to do with this set. And I almost called all the colors like, you know, mustard moon. But then I'm like, no, maybe there might be people that want to use this that might be used to, because you tend if you get into this style painting, is you might develop your own brand. And that's where you use consistently a grouping of colors, and people will recognize your work, and you know, you can explore and find something that you love that just kind of has the emotion that you love. But I thought, you know what, no, I'll go with the standard color names, because for people who paint and they might be already used to the colors, but in my heart, this one is mustard moon, okay? All right, friends, I'm gonna finish up my buzzy coffee, the coffee that hits just right. And Amy says, hi, Sonia, are you cold? I am. I'm in a big 10,000 square foot building, and it gets a little chilly in the winter here. But that's okay. We got layers. Deborah says, hello, darling. Haven't seen you in a while. I'm here. I was just out west for a little bit. Took a break. You guys have been seeing all my thrift videos. But I caught a cold when I was out west, and just kind of recovering. And at this point, I've been leaning into doing a lot of painting. And, you know, it is cold. We got rain and ice outside today. So it's just nice to sit here and do a little, you know, creating and hang out. So yeah, let me know if you want to do some more painting chats, and maybe tomorrow I'll watch and see what you guys say. And I might pop on tomorrow around 10:30 and before the start of my day and hang out and have another little coffee time. Let me know if you like coffee time. We can have coffee together. All right, friends, make it awesome. And I'll probably see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.